My name's TJ Murphy. I'm the CEO and owner of Baldor Specialty Foods in the Bronx. We're the two in the farm to fork equation. And this is my New York story.
So, TJ, this is very exciting for me personally, to be able to meet the third, fourth generation of a store that was really my first, extraordinary experience in New York with Balducci's. Did you just naturally think, granted the business has changed since then, but did you just always feel that was like your life map, that this is what you were going to do? It's what my dad did, it's what I'll do.
I was exposed to this business, which is really it's a family business, and the business itself is a family. So, I worked in the warehouse. He didn't force me to start from the ground up, but, I actually really wanted to. And it was the best thing in retrospect was I worked the warehouse, and I moved through every position in the warehouse. Mm-hmm. The office is great too. There's a great team feel up here, but down in the warehouse, it's really camaraderie, really a lot of teamwork. It's really a family. I used to go to these guys' birthdays and families, and whether it's a birthday party or a quinceañera or all this stuff. I really got in touch with all the employees downstairs, and I gravitated towards that and being a business. And then the food part was just embedded in me, and I didn't realize. And
so you said your dad, wanted you to come upstairs.
Yeah. Michael really pushed for it. My dad, he was okay with the natural flow.
Okay.
But there was a need for a pull, yeah.
A pull, and then your dad became sick.
Yeah.
Do you prepare for something like that? I mean, how do you handle something of that magnitude?
Yeah, so,
I'm so sorry again.
Thank you. It's been 3 years now, but he battled cancer for 2 years before he passed. So it was one of those situations where, even up here, I was still very much interested in, at the time I was buying. I guess I was in my mid-20s, 24, 25, and I really gravitated towards that. Up here was procuring, sourcing, buying, bringing product in, satisfying the salespeople's needs, customers looking for this, for that. So I was really doing that at the time. And when he became sick, I was around, I think, 26 or so. And it was really interesting to look back on it, because the first year he was fighting, I wanted nothing to do with talking about succession planning. Thank you. Yeah. Just because to me that was accepting
mortality.
Yeah. So I ignored it for a little while. We just kind of went on our own. I let him do his thing, and he was relying on me to oversee some of the buying, and
he was really fighting it. I mean, you said battling, there was a lot of conviction in that.
He threw everything he had at it. He would take risks. He would try experimental drugs, but it was just, at the end, the cancer always wins. That's what they say.
Yeah.
So after a year, I kind of realized, look, what's the worst that could happen? The best that could happen is you plan for the worst, hope for the best, and he overcomes this. That's, in my head, that was what was going to happen. In his head, that was what was going to happen. But it wouldn't hurt for me to be educated. It might be time. So I actually moved in here.
So you guys both
we were in the same office, and he just was. What had really groomed me was whether he pushed me a little bit or whether I was lucky enough to just want to adapt to it, was that I've done every job in this building pretty much. I know
ground up.
I know
every nook and
what
cranny.
Those employees are dealing with. I know what's going on with the customer. I was able to learn the language just from sitting in and listening to it and asking questions. I was never afraid to ask questions or look silly or whatever. I was fortunate enough that I had a business I was able to step into, so I wasn't going to not ask a question of fear of an ego thing. So yeah, it just kind of, I took to running the business. I knew the roles below me, and we were able to do that for a year, and I learned enough to.
So you worked on almost like in an apprenticeship with your dad side by side for a year.
Yeah, I think it was about a year.
What do you take from that experience that you felt most impacted where you are today?
His ability to deal with people, to bring out the best in people. I think I learned from him that the key really is that you need their employees to do this business, and they're the most important part about it. They're your family, they're the lifeblood of the company, and every single person has really great qualities. Sure, maybe some challenges, maybe people aren't as great at some things as others, but you could manage, you could extract the good in any person. And the most important thing to do is take your team, take your people who give their life to this company and feed their family off it,
right,
and extract the best that they have, and push down things that might be challenges or they're not their strong suits, and that you can't take any of them for granted. You can't get frustrated. You can't treat anyone like they're disposable. You need these people, and he just had a way with them.
Such a human way of looking at things.
Yeah.
It is such a refreshing way of really valuing. No one's perfect, right?
Right.
And I say we're all part of a team. You win as a team and you lose as a team. And I think the most detrimental part is when you're a sports fan here, right? And you have a seat on the bench that's not filled.
Right.
That's a really costly churn on your books, right? The cost to replace that person, numbers vary.
It's unquantifiable. Yeah, it's so much better to keep people here, and of course, there's exceptions, but we are so proud of our retention.
Are these mostly folks from the Bronx? Who are your employees?
They're
local. Because you guys,
I believe like 80% of our employees are from New York State, and half of them are more than half are from the Bronx.
Wow. So you have also really experienced firsthand driving and all the other roles that you've played in seeing this explosive growth across the 5 boroughs.
Yeah.
And so when you moved to Hunts Point in 2000, what was it like? I mean,
first of all, it was scary. I think he moved from I wasn't involved in the business till shortly after, but I remember just picking up on conversations. I was old enough, at the time.
Your parents were like,
Yeah, I mean, he moved from a 30-something thousand square foot building to 130,000 square foot, and he had bought it.
That's a big bet.
He had bought it, and it was a big bet.
That's
and
a big bet.
It was
I can imagine those Sunday, Saturday, Friday, all those conversations were pretty intense.
And it was the allure of Hunts Point. It's so centrally located. There was room to grow. It was accessible to all the highways, and of course, with this move, they were looking to say, well, where can we go? Can we go to Connecticut? Can we go to Westchester, Long Island, Jersey? And this was right in the middle, and that it was so important for our outbound trucks, and as well as our inbound. We pick up from the airport. We have some rail that comes in. We have rail siding. The potato and onion cars come right up to our building here and in Barry Street, our other Bronx location. So it was so centrally located, and the Bronx at the time was changing, and there was opportunities.
So your dad, starting at 91, was also, as a celebrity chef, I guess phenomenon was starting to happen. Dad was young, chefs were young. I'm leaping forward that he became friendly with some of these folks, and they each grew their own businesses and a friendship.
That's exactly,
who were
the first customers were, you had James Beard, everyone knows the James Beard House and the foundation, all the awards. The president of the White House would actually personally shop at Balducci's. There's one story of Alfred Portale was doing a dinner. I believe it was at the Tavern on the Green, a really high-end dinner, and he was going to do a cheese, on every table that was gonna be eaten with a spoon. And my dad had sold him and actually aged the cheese for him.
For the dinner.
For the dinner.
Wow.
And Alfred told me that story not too long ago.
So TJ, I'm sitting here, I'm facing your clear glass refrigerator with the cherries, and we walked in and we've got these gorgeous strawberries and blueberries, and I would, if you would indulge me, I would totally be fascinated to see like how it all works.
Go,
like
we can go check out the warehouse. There's a lot more of that where we're going.
And that's really your roots, right? I mean, that's where you started, and that would be, if you don't mind, I would love to just kind of...
I'm very comfortable to take you down.
Okay, all right.
Show you around.
Okay, that'd be great. Wow. Are those onions?
All the way in the back are shallots, yeah. You have endive from Belgium, mushrooms, Pennsylvania. These are all mushrooms, asparagus from California.
So wait, so what's
fresh chickpeas.
What are those? Oh, the flowers?
Yeah, those are fresh pansy flowers. Look at these are pretty neat. So these are tiny radishes. These are grown by a farm in California. Those are literally
Are they sweeter?
They're a little bit sweeter, a little more tender. This is a sea bean.
A sea bean?
Yeah.
I eat it?
Yeah, it's salty.
Where would I eat this? Like, I've never seen this in my life.
You know, really high-end restaurants will use it on fish, on crudo, to give a salinity, a natural salinity to it, a natural saltiness.
I'm gonna eat it again.
Sushi restaurants, yeah. It might be in like some salad. Here, we're pulling it out of here.
That was very good.
Yeah, it's nice. It's just got tons
So
of...
it has like a crunch to it, and it's like salty, and it has
You
like
get
a
the
good
water
consistency.
content. It's good flavor.
What are these?
So here, this is everyone loves chickpeas.
I love chickpeas.
This is a fresh chickpea.
I cannot explain to you. I freaking love chickpeas.
Before they're dried, here, take one. Before they're
eat it like
dried
this?
or whatever. No, imagine every one of these
gets
peeled and dried out. So these are young chickpeas.
Wow, they're almost yellow.
Yeah, yellow, green. They're.
I've had green chickpeas, but
You can eat them.
and you eat them too?
Sure.
Where do these come from?
These are grown in California. They're nice. They have nice
They're
flavor.
really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of work though. It's easier to take the bag. You know, restaurants will buy these and use them
And then
as a super high-end ingredient.
these are delicious.
Yeah, they're tasty.
I would be in here all day long.
So these are squash blossoms.
Oh, those are nice.
I know
love
you've
those
seen a lot
fried.
of these. These are a little more mature. These actually are grown by a local farm up in Eastbrook in Pennsylvania.
They're gorgeous.
So we source these from all over the world, but this time of year, they're local. So these are the local cherries that we had upstairs. They're grown in upstate New York.
They're beautiful.
These are the sweet cherries. If you want to try one, help yourself. You're gonna get a bunch connected there. It's so fresh, the stems are still all connected.
Oh my God.
This is how they pull them off the tree. Look, you can see you still get a little bit of a tree branch there.
Oh my God.
It's a different flavor. You know,
Oh my God.
the cherry capital of the world is really Washington State, and they're fantastic from there. Here you get a little more tender, but they're fresh and they're really flavorful.
Those are crazy.
Yeah.
Those are crazy.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is very special. Very special.
Glad you guys enjoy it.
Oh my God, I love it. What a cool place to work.
It just goes row after row of
I like.
vegetables.
They would have to pull me out of here because this to me is the greatest thing.
Get more Crains in print and online with Crain's New York Business, our flagship title, and Crain's 5 Boroughs, a new lifestyle magazine and website covering the 5 boroughs of New York City.